Welcome everybody. This is the introduction to Ontosphere. Ontosphere is a piece of software that me and Sai, who's also in the meeting, created to actually address the problem that domain experts need to create knowledge graphs. And most of the time, it is quite hard. You have to bring some ontology skills. You have to bring knowledge of tools, you have to deploy them, you have to install Protege plugins, you have to understand how reasoners work. And this is all kind of raising the barrier of creating useful knowledge graphs, which are hopefully also consistent. And that's why I think when we started Kappa Digital, which is some years ago, we actually found out how hard it is actually to model those knowledge graphs. We took some routes through Draw.io, visually creating graphs where you can discuss with people, remodel stuff. There's some lookup tools with ontologies and so on. And recent developments actually made it possible to create a standalone application that is bundling most of this and even more. And was the starting point of Ontosphere. So Ontosphere enables you, this is the uh, app when it loads. Ontosphere is on GitHub. I can give you the link here. And the cool thing about Ontosphere is, first of all, it runs in your browser only. You don't have to install anything. You can start the app by just going to the static page, and everything that is then rendered on your browser is in your browser only. There is no backend service. Everything is in your browser and is as secure as your browser is. Um, Ontosphere packs a lot of stuff. Uh, it it is built of several components which are probably known, maybe, which are TypeScript WebAssembly stuff that is very useful for ontology, working with ontologies and knowledge graphs. There is a visual a canvas editor, which is called Reactodia, which is very cool. You can discover Sparkle endpoints, huge knowledge graphs, and triple stores with this. I just use some of this stuff. There is a built-in triple store and three triple store, which is very, very fast and necessary in the browser. We ported a full OWL reasoner conclude from the Uni Ulm to work in the browser, which is very novel. I don't know. I didn't find any reasoner that runs in your browser only with WebAssembly. There is a shackle engine in here. You can test your stuff with shackle shapes. I will show this to you. There's also Sparkle interface, full-fledged. There is several layouting engines because for showing up ontologies and bigger graphs with a lot of nodes, you probably need layouting and also clustering, which is here. And it packs also a full MCP um, information, so the schema. It is not packing the MCP server itself. It's just the explanation of tools. So you still need some MCP server that actually hosts this for making your CLI or local AI use it. Or you use also just browser-based relay bridge where you can use your custom, your whatever LLM model chat interface you have directly with this application, and the LLM will think that it just uses this as a tool. I will try to show all this today. There is a lot of time we should have also for questions. So yeah, lay back. You can also just try the stuff together with me if you want to. I will give you all the links. So back to the repository, there is also some documentation. If you want to dive directly into this, I would suggest you have a look at the video tutorials. There's several feature videos where you can just see what you need to click and how you might use this. There's also a full walkthrough video which I recently created, which is nearly showing the same stuff I will show today. So, okay. So Ontosphere looks like this. So it should also scale on your mobile devices if you want to do this. It has several things we are used to now. So there's T-box and A-box display. You can load ontologies, you can load your data by file. So if I don't know, load anything from my storage here, I can just visualize a graph, which is a turtle file, and looks like this, probably. There's layouting functions, several ones that will, then show different arranged nodes. You can steer them if you want to. There is excessive settings you can use. You can move around the stuff. You can edit this, and this is the stuff I will show you next. And there's also ontologies loaded. So the triple store here in the background has several named graph areas. This one, everything which is displayed on the canvas in A box or T box display is actually in the data name graph. And all ontologies you want to use are in the ontology name graph. These ontologies are loaded by default because we all need them. They are the fundamental ontologies we need to express stuff in RDF. If you want to load more, there is a big list of ontologies you may want to use. Additionally, this is always we try to implement autocomplete fields. So if you want to load the PMDCO, you can just load the PMDCO, and now it's also here. You can remove them. All of these ontologies are auto-loaded on each startup of the app. If you want to add your ontologies to the auto-load, just add it. You can also unload them on the fly if you want to. This is what a graph might look like. Ontosphere is featuring full editing mode, which is covered by the Reactodia we are using. So you can just go to a node, try to edit this. If you want to add some types, you can add them by here. If you want to add maybe a comment, you can just autocomplete here to comment. Then you type your value, edited by Thomas. Apply this, and then you will see this node is marked as changed. We have a green mark here. This is the annotation. I can also draw new links to other entities, also with autocomplete. I don't know, probably whatever is about fits always. Then you get something like this. And then if you want to save this to the triple store, now this is not covered in the background triple store, you can save this, and then it's persisted in the store. That is most of the time the editing mode. If you want to add something new, you can use the search compound here. So if I want to add a class, I probably just want to add class. I cannot add a class in the A box display. That's why I don't have the plus sign here. I have to switch to T box. Add a class. Gives this a name. My class. Can also switch the namespace if I want to. So this is the type. Then I apply this, and there's my class. And if I want to persist this, I just save this. If you don't like that the layout is changing so much, you can also disable the auto layouting. That will restore the last layout you have here. Yeah, that's what is also very important is you can navigate your graphs. So if I don't know, want to know where Thomas probably was. Oh, this is not working because I don't have a Thomas class or something named like this. Maybe have a look for alpha. This is also full, full indexing everything that is on the classes or individuals. So you can actually go through this. I don't know if I want to find employees, employees, employee. Then I will go through all the classes probably. There's an employee class and a non-employee class. You can navigate in between and probably also see the, this is the, I have to search for the individual, let's say Carol. Then you will switch the view and go to your instance. That's the editing mode. And that is actually where the fun part begins. I prepared something that is showing reasoning. That is also in the documentation. By the way, you can reach the documentation by just going here. And this is the table of contents. And if you click somewhere, then it will lead you to the GitHub repo page. This is a small graph that is showing people that are employees in a company. It has also a bigger T-box with restrictions. You see a lot of blank notes as well. These are from the axioms that are created here. So there's equivalent classes, which unions of different probably role classes here, manager, executive, and so on. There is properties defined, works on, knows, and so on. Domain range restrictions. So there's some stuff which is only available or can only be reasoned by full DL reasoning capabilities, and that's why this is the demo for this. If we go back to the A box, these are the individuals, and then there's a small button here which enables reasoning, and this will enable the RDF reasoner conclude package, which is a port of the reasoner from the Uni Ulm, which is full DL capable. And if I click on this, a reasoning process will start in a worker here in your browser. And when it's done, all the reasoned information will be stored in the inferred graph, name graph in the triple store. And all that is amber here is what is the inferred knowledge. Yeah, so you can see actually all of these relations between Alice, the CEO, and Bob are inferred. Also same as relations between Alice and the Alice CEO is inferred, which is also sometimes a little bit harder. And yeah, several other stuff. You can also, if you have the feeling that this is getting too confused for you, there is the clustering options. The lowest level is actually the expand all, where you can see on every node, every annotation, every type membership, and so on. If you go one up, they are all collapsed. So like this is the compact view of a node, which means an entity in OWL. And then you can compact this even more. So everything that is actually subclass should be then collapsed. So there's grouping nodes here, which you also can unpack manually if you want to, or all together. You can also group them like this. So there's a way to mark them here with this tool, and then toggle your groups by yourself if you want to do this manually. And then there is the upper level of clustering, which is useful for bigger graphs. If you load big ontologies or something, there is different algorithms you can test. So for big graphs, Louvain is a good choice. If you want to keep more or less semantic groups, label propagation is probably your choice. Yeah, you can test this out. And still the navigation is working. So I don't know, person. If I go there, I will just see the group node where this is in, and then I can unfold this and have a look at what is going on. Okay, you also get a consistency notice. So if the reasoner is complaining about this, you will get some warnings or errors. There's also shackle shape testing in here. So if you uncheck this, no shackle shape testing will happen. If you have checked this, it will load. Oh, yeah, in that case, it loaded the auto shapes of PMDCO. You can set up this. What is actually loaded is here. So this is the maintained by me ontology quality checks. They are very basic. There's also some people of you might know them, shackle sharp shapes, which are also yeah, more general approaching ontologies and knowledge graphs. And if you want to use them, you just have to run this reasoning again. And then you get all the results here. So I have 20 warnings. I can open them here if I want. So here I have some property should declare domain. So I have here properties that are not declaring any domain. Let's have a look again. You can also, this is also indicating directly on the entities. So there's also domain and range missing, which is clearly to be seen. So normally that should be pointed out, but this is only a warning. So this is not violating the consistency here. That's for the reasoning demo. I also have something for the PMD specific. And there I will also show you how you can actually use this with all parameters, which is also nice. So this is the reasoning demo. You find the link also in the documentation. And if you want to use maybe some pattern of the PMDCO, you actually just have to go here, pick the pattern you want to use, go to the shape data, copy the raw link, so the application can download from there. And then you have to replace here the RDF all by whatever graph you want to load this from. And the cool thing is you can use any URL that is reachable by your browser, because the browser is trying to fetch this. So if you're working in your restricted environment in your company, you have access to all the stuff that your client, your laptop, or whatever you're using this on has access to, and also the systems you are logged in. So if you are logged into, let's say, a CCAN with your browser session, it can access the private data sets and the resources there. So you don't have to deal with anything API related or whatsoever. The browser is taking care. For this example, you see here now that the edges here, so the object properties, are still in the index and the labels are not displayed. So this is because the PMDCO is not loaded here for this pattern graph. You can either load this by load ontology, or you can add an all parameter, which is, oh, sorry, ontology, and just add the short name even, because it's in the known ontologies built in. And if I do this again, the browser probably didn't notice. Maybe I was writing something wrong here. Yeah. sometimes browsers are creating these tags here, and they invalidate this. And now you see the labels are loaded because the ontology is also loaded. What is even better is if you use graphs that have an ontology node and they state our imports object properties to this and point to ontology IRIs that should be loaded, Ontosphere will try to load them on the fly. So you don't even have to take care about this. So if our PMDCO patterns would have our import statements to be self-consistent to the PMDCO, that would also work. We don't have this because our ODK workflow is having problems with this, but that would work for consistent graphs. Probably this is also an example. So I can give you a full URL of this where you can try this by yourselves. So this is the chemical composition example from the patterns. If you just, as me, you can just load this and you should have the same results. If that is not working, that would be interesting for me. Yeah, and you can also, which you didn't see here, is you can also set an OR to the auto shapes or the checker shapes you want to use. So there's also a checker shape OR parameter. You find all this in the documentation, and then you can point also to a triple, to a turtle file or something that enables the load of this. And then you will find the loaded 270 auto shapes we have here for the, I think this is the open closure variants of the auto shapes. You will find all them loaded. And then you can reason through this again. Yeah, reasoning through the PMDCO might take a while because it's not so shallow and small ontology anymore. But that should work. I didn't test this before, but yeah. And you see the ontology is consistent, but there is a violation here in the checker shapes. Let's have a look. And there you see it has less than one value. So it is probably a relational quality. No, the semiconductor here, some silicon needs a quality. And this is why it's complaining. And you can also add an entity here. Probably we need something. Actually, we just need a named individual here. And we might call it or something. That would work probably. And then we connect this by has quality. Save this. Reason again. And then hopefully that error is resolved. And this is how you can hopefully build consistent with ontology stacks, knowledge graphs, test them. And in the end, if that works here, the error is resolved. You can just export this again as turtle, JSON LD, or whatsoever, and then you are done. This is the first part of the demo, actually covering nearly everything. I would share my screen now in another way to show you also the AI integration, and that would be the end of the presentation in the end. This is our Fraunhofer chat interface. It's called FAG Genie. You can select different models here, which is not of our interest now. But Ontosphere enables you to interact with chat interfaces in the same browser session. And the only thing you have to do is actually open up the relay tab here. It will tell you what to do. And you can drag this bookmark up in your bookmark tab. It's the Ontosphere relay to this application. And then you go to your chat application, click on it, and it will open a broadcast channel, it's called, in the browser, where those two tabs can interact. And what it does is every tool call in JSON RPC, that is the format that is used nowadays with MCP calls, and will send this to the application and paste in the results into your chat. And to enable the LLM here to know what it can do, you should copy the starter prompt here and just paste it in. And you see there's also a tool call here done. The stuff is pasted back, and now it knows how to use this tool. Everything stays interactive. You can do whatever you want while he is trying to work. So automatically we use now ChatGPT 5.4. And now you can, I don't know, please build an ontology for Greek food and some individuals that will be classified by reasoning by the ingredients. Yeah, my English is in writing maybe awful, but let's see what it can make out of it. And now it's doing a lot of calls. Probably, oh, he's creating a full turtle he wants to add. He created already a huge ontology, seems like it. So with dishes, Greek salad, tzatziki, I can see. Sometimes the relay is a bit too fast and is not hitting the submit button in the right moment. So sometimes you have to hit this. And now he's already done, kind of. That is crazy because I didn't expect this from this one. He didn't do the layouting, so sometimes you have to do it. And what he was building seems like some kind of salad with feta, olives, and tomato. And inferred is that this is a Greek salad. I don't know if olives and feta satisfy the condition of being a Greek salad. In this ontology is probably like this. But there might be other opinions on this. So it was building very fast an example for this. And probably if you give him the right information about your experiment you conducted and the results and also the PMDCO you want to use, there could be remarkable results which you can directly inspect and also chat with and correct them if they are not consistent, because you have all the tools necessary to do so without installing anything. And that is the end of my presentation.